I was kind of like annoyed by the boohooing and the defeatist attitude. But now that I know that he feels this way about his identity and his like genetic makeup and identifying as a certain ethnicity is quite an important big deal.
Of course.
If you feel you don't fit into either of the two parts that make you up, of course you're going to feel a little bit inadequate at times.
And also, white people would see you as
not
other,
white either.
That's what he was saying. Other,
Othering,
in the other category.
Well, he's othered by the white people. He's othered by the black people. He's othered by the Asian people too.
Yeah, and the Hispanic people, because they're like, oh no, you're not Hispanic. But it's true, because like white people, what did that thing used to be like? I think, was it an American thing where it's like, you're black even if you're just one drop
rule.
Yeah, it's like, so you'll never be considered white, and you're not properly black, or do you know what I mean? It's all these different stereotypes.
What was interesting was the flashback to Davon.
This was so interesting.
You got the quote?
Yeah, he said Davon discounted me when she said to him, I came in this house and I saw 2 other people who looked like me.
Well, it is.
That is bad. I think that's actually really bad.
But she's right in the statement of David and Bailey more obviously look like her.
But Bailey's
But she
mixed.
totally overlooked.
But Bailey's mixed, isn't she?
I don't think
She's
so.
quite light-skinned, though.
Yeah, but then there's a whole other reason.
Yeah.
Like if you look into a whole other reason why there's different shades and stuff. It's
Oh,
like
also-
colonialism and rape and all sorts of history
Also,
there.
can I mention Kaiser was in the house? He got completely overlooked in this conversation as well.
Because it's not black.
No, but he's brown.
But from where Davon's coming from, that's a different bracket, isn't it? And I would say arguably in America for a brown person, life is probably easier than a black person.
Do you think?
I think so.
I wouldn't say so. Look at all, what happened with 9/11 and everything. I mean, Muslims are absolutely demonised after that.
Yeah, true.
Racism's racism, I think. I mean, we couldn't possibly say because we don't know, because we're not in that position, but I don't see it as any different. You're still being discriminated against.
Yeah, but police brutality, for example, is more directed at black people than it is anyone else.
Oh yeah, 100% it is, but that's just one issue affecting people.
No, but it's kind of like the biggest one, isn't it? It's kind of the forefront.
I was just watching Louis Theroux about that, actually. Have you watched any of those?
His newer ones.
It's him looking back at his whole career, and he was looking back at like the different places he went in America and the police shooting black people, and it was so interesting just how current it felt.
There's always been a thing.
Yeah, it just felt so current. It was really interesting. But yeah, what do you think of Day discounting Kevin? Was that because, do you think she didn't know Kevin was black, like what you were saying?
Surely, as part of the fabric of Big Brother, Davon should be aware of Kevin and who he is, no?
Well, I think she's supposed to be a fan, but
it was interesting to see her say that in front of Kevin, right in front of her face.
I wonder if Kevin actually said to her,
I wonder if he did.
I bet you didn't.
He probably just went, you know what, I don't look like her, and that's the problem that I face everywhere that I go. Yeah. And fair enough. That
is bad. There's definitely sort of racial hierarchies, aren't there? And I don't know if hierarchies is the right word, but there's racism between races. Not saying that Davon's being racist, but
are we talking about colorism?
Yeah, is that what I'm going for?
Yeah, I think so. In kind of like life, it's easier for a light-skinned black person than it is a dark-skinned black person, and dark-skinned people are definitely kind of more harshly discriminated against. Yeah,
and dark-skinned black women, for example, are considered less beautiful by the beauty industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if they put a dark-skinned woman on the front of a magazine, they sell half as many copies as a white woman. Which is
that's colorism at its finest.
Disgraceful.
But even within their own, within the black community, there's probably colorism that goes on as well. It's like it's like intersectionality, isn't it? Like any sort of issue, there's always a lower division, and you can drill down and even further.
Do you know what's interesting? Cases like when a mixed couple, you know, a black and white couple have a baby, and then have you ever seen it where they have like twins and one is black and one is white?
I've heard about.
Have you ever
this
seen that?
being possible.
Don't you think that's interesting? I've seen like the stories like in the paper or whatever, and like how like they literally get treated different. Like they're like identical twins. Well, as identical as you can be if you're two different colours.
Yeah.
And just how people treat them differently, or go, oh, whose baby is that you're looking after, or shit like that. Do you know what I mean? That's so interesting because it's almost like a scientific experiment within your own family. That doesn't sound right, but do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. And like, would you feel differently about your children if one was black and one was white? I'm sure you wouldn't.
Not.
I'm sure you wouldn't.
Sure that's like the one place they are treated equally within their own family.
Yeah,
their own
but
home.
don't you think it's interesting?
I think it's absolutely shocking that there is any difference in treatment.
But there is. But imagine that being your brother or sister, and you see them getting treated differently to you. It's totally fucked.
That'd be horrible.
So this conversation went on. Kevin said, "I know that my appearance is perplexing, and I get otherized." And I put here, I think they're trying to do a bit of a caser with Kevin, i.e., having him talk about like the issues, you know, like what Kayser was doing with Dave Vaughan. But then David's response was, fuck everything else, you're Kevin Campbell. I get the feeling David, it's funny because David has said, oh, I want to be the first African American male to win Big Brother,
but he's not said much else.
He's actually said that, but this conversation, you're right, he seemed like he just did not want to get involved in this conversation.
Yeah, and it was almost a little bit of a shame, I thought, because David could have been part of Kevin's moment.
Yeah,
you know, like it's like Cameron coming out in Big Brother UK, like
Cameron Cole.
Yeah, like that was the moment of like his storyline being defined, and it's like Kevin's storyline. This is kind of a big part of him to share. Yeah, it's quite an emotional thing, and to sort of divulge that onto David in a way is like quite a privilege. Should be quite a privilege, but David was a bit like not bothered.
I don't know if it was not bothered. It felt more like he just didn't want to touch it with a barge pole. But I don't know why.
He didn't seem to try to understand, though. Which I think is a privilege of anyone who can clearly identify as who they are.
I feel like David was kind of looking at it like, not like I don't see colour, but
don't worry about it because
almost
you're you.
Like that. Yeah, you're great the way you are. Whereas Kevin actually wanted to say, look, like kind of,
what do you think about me?
Yeah, do you accept me? Do you see that I am partly...
David did not stand up and go, Kevin, I see you as a bad guy.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But then is it David's place to say that?
The thing is, like, for Kevin, like, if he wants to identify as black, it's kind of his prerogative to do so.
Yeah, I mean, he is black.
Yeah, he is.
He's black and he's white as well. Does that work?
Asian.
No. Oh yeah, Asian, sorry. Never mind. As you were.
But I think, like, when it comes to this sort of identity politics or whatever, it's always as much as what you want to be identified as what you are seen as. But when if he wants to identify as a African American, then he's not sort of seen as, that's even harder, isn't it?
And I would imagine it would be even harder for him to go to Japan and go, hi, I'm Japanese.
Yeah,
because I imagine they'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I wonder, does he speak Japanese or not?
It's interesting. That's quite a cool mixture to be, really. It's a shame he's so down on himself, and especially at his age. Like, you think he would know himself by now.
You better know yourself,
Accept
little girl.
yourself, Kevin. You're great the way you are. Just stop being so defeated and a puppy dog. Just, like, if the chips had fallen a different way in this game, you could have been on top. It's just... I feel
but
like
he went in it with the defeatist mindset.
I feel like the game has just broken his spirit. It's a shame.
Nah, he was broken when he arrived.
Was he?
Yeah, he's not been a fight. He's not given any fighting talk. He's been giving it all the tears since he walked in the house.
That's true.
But again, like it's horrible that kind of so much is based on outward appearance. Like if you look at how it went, Kevin didn't fit in with the black housemates. No. He didn't fit in with the white housemates either. And there was nobody else that looked like Kevin. No. So he was already alone. He's the only guy that looks like him. He's the only gay guy as well. Although I've got a question mark over David.
Didn't we say that last year?
We don't know. We just don't know.
I swear I said that last year. Do you remember me saying, don't think David's a bit camp? Did I say that?
Possibly.
I swear I did last year, but you know what? I haven't thought that this year.
You said it about someone else recently as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Was it someone been with Australia? I don't know.
But yeah, I feel like for Kevin it was always going to be harder because, especially what we know about US Big Brother, the white group does become a big conglomerate that dominates everything.
Also, yeah. Conglomerate is a good word for it. But then I look at someone like Kaiser, who is the same age as Kevin, actually a little bit younger. So
what?
Yeah. So because I think
are you a woman?
I'm fine now. Because I think Kevin is 42. I think Kaiser is 40. But Kaiser comes in so confident, so at one with himself, knows exactly who he is. Mind you, thinking about Kaiser was exactly like that at 25 as well. So it's nothing to do with age.
There's so many factors that come into play about like how secure you feel about yourself.
Yeah, Kaiser's got a happy family. He's got a great job. Blah blah blah. Kevin's said that he was struggling to conceive. He's going to be in a gay relationship, isn't he?
I mean, we all keep trying. Yeah, but he's seemingly in a very happy and secure relationship.
Yeah, but he really wants a baby, so maybe that's a bit of an issue for him, and I don't know.
Self-esteem is a really difficult issue.
That's the one.
And honestly, like we've both been like, Kevin, stop crying. Kevin, just like, you're such a wet blanket. But it's really not very nice to not feel good about yourself.
So we're going to go all in on Kevin now, just as he's probably about to get evicted?
I mean, if there's any underdog that I want to support, it's probably David.
Like, same.
I understand Kevin more, having heard this conversation, but I can't back him because there's just no hope.
No, David is good.
And perhaps I'm part of the problem, because I feel that way about him. There's no
you're
hope.
not, because that's to do with his personality. It's not to do with his identity.
No, true.
Isn't it? So then that
would be the bulk of our discussion.
Yeah, because it's one of the interesting things that happened. So then moving back to this dog-eat-dog world, Nicole was grasping to Christmas and said, I do have your back. If it's in question, if it's in question, I shut it down. So if someone's slagging you off, I shut. So Nicole,
I got your back.
The way Nicole does this is quite artful.
She did do it.
Yeah,
she's right. She did. You mentioned her having said, "Oh no, I don't think you should go for Christmas."
Yeah, but Nicole, the way she introduces this into conversation, she doesn't say, "Danny's saying X, Y, and Z about you." She says, "If I hear anything, I shut it down."
However,
it's
Christmas
like,
did say who's yeah. She might have had a penny drop moment. She went,
because
people are talking about me.
Put that down for Christmas to fucking pick up. That's why.
She went, is it Danny? And Nicole said yes.
In a sneaky
I
fucking
hear what you're
way.
saying. She doesn't voluntarily say this is who's coming for you.
Yeah,
she will confirm it later.
Yeah, she sort of hints at it, she said, "Oh, I have your back," and I thought, yeah, bitch, you had Ian's back as well. I didn't want. She said, and Nicole said, "I'm tearing my relationship with Danny apart for you." That's what she said to Christmas.
That's
no,
a bit
bitch,
extreme.
Your relationship with Danny is falling apart, and now you need a new ally, so you're going to Christmas. I've put, I don't want Danny to go. I want Christmas to go. Why does Nicole have to ruin everything? And then Christmas said, "I've got my veto pigtails on." Okay.
I wonder. I was on the bus while I was watching this, and there's a bit, sometimes the bus is really noisy. I'm like, what did she say about the pigtails? But I didn't want to go back.
She said. I put Cody gets the Jade Goody edit.
Which Jade Goody edit? She's had a few.
The East Angular one.
Oh yeah. What's the New Jersey called?
So they go, "Oh yeah, what's the New Jerseyan called?" And then Memphis goes, "Oh, I'm from Florida. We're called Floridians." And Cody's like, you just made up that word. What is someone from Bedford called?
Bedfordian.
I was trying to think what it could be.
What's someone from Northampton
Northamptonian. So shit.
They're so stupid.
I know. I know. I was trying to think what the Bedford one could be, and I just couldn't think of it. It's basically just Ian on the end of everything, isn't it?
You're a Northamptonian.
Yeah. So maybe the New Jersey one is New Jerseyan.
But Londoner.
Londoner. Oh, yeah, you're right. Should we start calling it Londinian?
Probably it was back in the day.
And then Danny was like, "Have you never heard of a Texan?"
He said, "That's an animal."
An animal.
Honestly, Cody, what do you think that animal is?
And he goes, "Nah, you just made this. You just made this all up." Cody's a sick guy. So then we had the veto comp. We had the veto picks, and
who wanted to pick Enzo? Enzo had a discussion with...
Oh, David picked Enzo.
Because they had a chat about how he would... David and Enzo had a chat earlier in the episode.
Yeah, that was when he said, "Oh, to be sure, we want them to go after each other."
Yeah, see? This is why it was an interesting episode. Because it felt like the committee was starting to kind of like fall apart a little bit.
Yeah.
Enzo was kind of getting in there with David.
Yeah, Enzo's trying to have some backup people.